listening to Arizona's TejanoView.
Once again, you're tuned in to TejanoView.net. It's your boy Stixx in the mix, hanging out with you guys. I got a very special person on the phone line now. We said 2 o'clock.
Hello.
But yeah, there you go, Shelly. How you doing?
I'm doing very well. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I was waiting for you at 2, but I was like, you know what? She's got to be on Texas time or something.
Yeah, well, I was over here going to call you 2 o'clock Texas time. And then Stephanie told me and my guitar player were like, no, you got to wait till, it's Arizona time. So like, oh, yeah, that's right. So
Yeah.
I know I'm a little bit jacked up on my time, but I appreciate you having me on.
Oh, definitely. It's a pleasure. Actually, you know what? To be honest with you, you're our first live on-air, online caller that we've ever had.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. I appreciate, you picking me to be the first one. I mean, we really appreciate everything you guys do, and of course, supporting the single and everything. I mean, this is the least we can do to call in and say thank you to you guys, and of course to all the fans out there.
Oh, definitely. Check this out. I had a question. I had a couple of questions I'm going to ask you. I'm not going to get too personal, but
that's fine.
But I got to ask one thing. I mean, I've been a big fan of your music for years, but I've never actually really knew. Actually, I figured it out. I went online and kind of did some research. But for our listeners' sake, where did it all start for you?
Professionally?
Actually, you know what? To be honest with you, just in general, I want to know where it all began for Shelly Lares.
Oh, good Lord! I mean, I've wanted to be in music since I can remember. Since I was a little girl, my family is very musically inclined. My mom and dad are, they both sing. My sisters and my brother, they all sing, and my brother plays instruments and stuff. So I grew up in a musical household, But I mean, I think at a very young age, as far back as I can remember, at 5 or 6 years old, that, I always just would sing around the house, and then once I got into school, I mean, I was singing in church choir and stuff like that, but I mean, it sounds weird, but, as a little girl, I just always knew that music was going to be what I was going to do for a living. And I didn't know how, but I just wanted to be on stage. And then, of course, the opportunity presented itself when I was 10 at my sister's wedding. And it was a Tejano band that was playing. And actually, David Mares, who's a legend in Tejano music, was the vocalist for this band at the time. And that was the whole reason that my sister and my brother-in-law had hired that band, because they really liked his music and his voice. But ironically, he left the band right before my sister got married. So my sister actually asked the band if I could do a song, at the wedding. And when they heard me, they called my parents that night and asked if I could join the band. And then, I stayed with them till I was 14, and then I recorded a few records, with them, about 5 records. And then I left when I was 14 and got my own band, kind of locally throughout San Antonio. We would play a lot of festivals and stuff. And then I actually got my first recording contract with Manny Guerra when I was 17. And ever since then is when I've been on the road. So it's been about 28 years now I've been doing Tejano music.
Man, that's some history right there, huh?
It's hard to think, that so many years have gone by. And I think when it really hits me, there's 2 times when it really hits me. Okay. One is when I'm at my shows and I see fans that were fans of mine when they were little, and they have kids now. That's one. 2 is when I actually have all my discography in front of me. When I look at all the CDs I've recorded throughout the years, that's when it really hits me. Oh my God, I've been doing this for a really long time. But, I've been very blessed because, longevity is very hard to come by.
Yeah.
In anything that you do, longevity is really hard to come by. And I always remember my dad would tell me, Mija, he goes, what's important is that you have longevity in the industry, that your stamina is there, and that, maybe every year you don't grow really big, but at least you grow a little bit and you just keep, progressing. That's always stayed in my mind, and I think that's always, helps me out.
Definitely. And you say, does anybody else in your family play along with the band also?
No, actually, they didn't do it as a profession. My brother came close to being in a band because he was a drummer. My brother was in band, in high school and stuff. I never studied music ever. I was never in band. I was never, I never studied music. I can't read music to save my life.
So you're a natural then, we could say.
It's just Chinese to me. I look at it, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So, but, my brother taught me my chords, and I play by ear, strictly by ear. Anything that I play, any instrument that I play, because I play piano and bass as well, and harmonica.
Man.
And, I kind of learned on my own just how to play. But my brother was very influential. But my sisters and my brother, the only one that was in my band for a little bit was my cousin Tony.
Okay.
He was in my band for quite some time, but he gave his life to the Lord, and now, he got off the road, and that's what he's doing now. But no, none of them were in the band, just my cousin.
So you basically learned how to play by ear. I mean, that's amazing, because I've seen you play the timbales, and that is amazing. Amongst other instruments, but myself, DJ Stixx, TejanoView and all that. I'm a DJ, but I used to play the drums. That's where the name came from. And and when I've seen a couple of videos that are on YouTube of you playing timbales, and I just sit there and I say, you know what, I'm never gonna play the drums again. So
that's crazy. Well, that's a funny story. I was in Dallas, I think, and we were in a music store.
Okay.
And it was probably like in 91, maybe 92. And when I was a little girl, my brother had a drum set. Of course, he would have it set up.
Yeah.
And I was the only sister out of my two. I have two sisters and my brother. I was a baby, so I'm the baby. I was the only sister he would let actually get on his instruments and play.
Oh man!
And
you were the favorite, huh?
I was very fascinated by the drums at a very young age. Probably more now. I think guitar is my main instrument, but I was just very intrigued by drums. And for a little while there, I would sneak into his room and I would play the drums when he wasn't there. But then he caught on to the fact that somebody was getting in his room, and when he found out that it was me, he was like, you can come play. He wouldn't let my sisters, but he would let me. And so when I was in this music store, I was like, I was just up and coming. I was still kind of new in the industry. Selena was still pretty much ahead of everybody. But I was in this music store, I saw these timbales, and I'd never played them before, never played percussion or anything.
Yeah.
But I was like, I really want to do something different in my show. I want to set myself aside from what the other girls are doing.
Yeah.
And so I was like, let me buy these. So I bought them, and I put them on stage that very night. I didn't know what the heck I was doing, but I just started playing by whatever I felt, and it kind of started from there. And now everybody's like, that's kind of like the favorite thing for people to watch.
That's cool. That's real good. And now bringing up, you brought up Selena. We just celebrated her anniversary, 16th anniversary of her passing last Friday. What are your memories of Selena? What's like one of the memory that stands out?
Oh wow. Well, I don't know if most of my Facebook fans, my Shelly, and everybody knows, that I had a very close relationship with her. She was my best friend, and probably to this day, I've never lost anybody that close to me. I'm very, since her death, I've been very private as far as my friendship with her. Mm-hmm. Mainly because I felt that it was kind of between she and I. It was like she was like my sister, so it was very, very hard for me to share, and it's very, very, very rare that I will talk about her on interviews or anything like that. But
that's understandable.
As far as my fond memory of her, it would be that I'd never met anybody so kind-hearted and so humble, and somebody that would put you before them. Aside from her music and that it was the fact that it was great, and she's a legend in our industry. Herself as a person outshines more. It just magnifies.
Yeah,
50
exactly.
times more if you knew her as a person.
Yeah,
because she just was that way. I'd never met somebody that was so kind and trustworthy, and such a great person.
Yeah.
And there's little things. It's the little things that I miss every day. And I went to Corpus on Friday, which was the day after her anniversary, and hadn't visited the cemetery, so I finally went on Friday and had my moment, there. But, there's just so many little memories that I guess I'll kind of keep to myself. But, I mean, that's the main thing, is the fact that she's, I miss her as just a kind-hearted person.
Yeah, definitely. For those fans that just actually tuned in, we got some more listeners just added. You're listening to TejanoView.net. Your boy Stixx in the mix, speaking with Little Miss Dynamite, Shelly Lares. Getting back to some questions. Give us a little insight on what's basically your favorite pastimes. What do you do on your time off? What do you like to do when you're relaxing?
Well, I don't know. I write a lot of music. I know it sounds funny, but because that's not outside what I do for a living. But I write a lot of music, and it's very rare that you find people you can collaborate with as far as writing. And so I've been very blessed here recently that I have that. But I just love to write music. I mean, everything is about music for me. I mean, I think about it constantly, and it may seem like I'm not thinking about it, but music is always on my mind, and I'm always thinking of the next song and what we're going to do next, and the next project. And for me, now that I've started my own record label, this is my very first record label, my own, Shell Shock Records 3.
Okay.
More so, I'm like planning ahead. It's like I kind of I have this thing where I worry about everything at one time. I try, everybody tells me you need to take one thing at a time, but
you're a multitasker.
I'm working on the Tejano CD. We're also, Javier Galvan and Grupo Fama is going to be starting my Christian project next month, which is in May. I also have a country project that I'm writing music for. Plus, my goal is to sign other artists. So I'm also thinking about that and the plans that I have for that. So my mind is always constantly on music. It used to be running. I was in martial arts, and I was very into working out and stuff. But now more so, the time is kind of weird for me. And I spend a lot of sleepless nights, just writing music and just not being able to sleep because I have so many things on my mind. But it would have to be songwriting.
Cool.
And if there's other little hobbies, it's funny stuff. I know it's going to sound really weird and stupid, but I like to detail cars.
What?
I mean, it's very therapeutic for me for some reason.
Well, I got a Jeep Cherokee that needs a lot of help. Can you help me?
No, I would love to do it. I know it sounds weird, but I don't know. It's just something I like to do.
That's cool.
And,
So you like to see your work right after it's done. You like to see the
that's
difference.
Why sometimes I would do stuff like that, or my mom or my families or something. And it's pretty weird, but I really enjoy doing that. It's a great workout, and plus I don't know, just I can't tell you why, but I know it's weird.
Well, hey, at least you got something. At least you got something to fall back on in case this Tejano music thing doesn't work, right?
Oh man, I know that wouldn't be good. No.
Well, speaking about your other projects, just to let you know, here at Tejano View, one thing that we're just basically starting to implement shows, as far as specialty shows. Like on Sunday, yesterday, we just started the Tejano View barbecue, which is it's running from 2 to 5 p.m. I think we're going to change the time to from 4 to 8 because a lot of people were giving us a call and saying, hey, keep it on. But what that is basically while everybody's barbecuing and stuff like that, we're chit-chatting with the other DJs, my friend Solo and also DJ Rich. And one thing that we like to do, speaking of the other projects that you got coming up, we like to implement a lot of we're going to implement Christian music along with country. With the specialty shows. So the minute you get that, send it to us, and we'll make sure we get it on and put it out there for everybody to check out. Like I said, we got a couple other things coming up also on Sunday mornings. What we plan on doing is doing basically gospel, Tejano gospel music from 10 a.m. to about the time that we start the show. We're gonna mix it in with the rest of the playlist that we got. So I think it'd be real good.